For more than 40 years, computers have been classroom disruptors.
The microprocessor revolution is reaching into the classroom, and the 80s will see more and more children being introduced to computer technology at an increasing scale.
These students are logging onto a bulletin board, which is a huge data bank of information.
In the not too distant future, this is what most Australian classrooms will probably look like.
We're now at the next stage of that evolution, with generative artificial intelligence in some schools and a whole new world of AI programs that are changing the way students learn. It's powerful software like ChatGPT, trained on existing data to interact like a human would. You can ask it to produce images, help make music, and even write essays.
This is our next industrial revolution.
It kind of scares me a little bit, but that's partially fault of the Terminator films.
I don't think it's a question of whether or not students are ready for the AI revolution, because they're already in it.
I've come to Westbourne Grammar on the western outskirts of Melbourne, where the revolution is well advanced. The independent school's principal has replaced himself with a chatbot on their website. Hello.
Hello, I'm here to assist with questions about Westbourne.
Well, not entirely.
Hi, Jason.
Adrian, nice to meet you in person.
Likewise.
Why would you make a deepfake of yourself?
It's about harnessing the power of artificial intelligence to connect with our community in new ways. So this avatar is on our website, and it enables anyone who visits our website to interact with me and ask questions about the school.
It also speaks in different languages.
Hey, Adrian, tell me about Westbourne Grammar School and tell me in Korean.
안녕하세요. 저는 웨스트본 그래머 학교에 대해 말씀드리겠습니다. 우리 학교는 1867년에 설립된 역사가 깊은 학교로 빅토리아주에서 가장 성공적인 사립학교 중 하나입니다.
What happens when a parent comes to you and thinks you can speak Korean?
It's actually opened up some really interesting conversations with our international community. I'm very clear that we're using AI to do this.
After ChatGPT launched in late 2022, Victoria and other states initially moved to ban it in public schools over various concerns, including cheating. But Westbourne Grammar decided to embrace it.
I don't think banning's ever the solution. You know, I think we need to be educating our young people about the safe, effective and ethical uses and making sure that they understand when it's okay to augment their own intelligence and their learning through the effective uses of the tools at their disposal.
The school also uses other programs that give feedback on public speaking through an AI audience.
The first hard lesson I'd ever learned came with my first failure.
Create video games with just a few commands.
This is kind of like a space shooter game, except it has more of a environment twist on it. You have to just get rid of all of the plastic bags and straws.
And conjure up works of AI art.
I'm generating a shark wearing a pink tutu and riding a surfboard. Now I can just print it straight from the platform.
And the task was to create something that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we should be approaching it cautiously, but also if schools aren't the ones that are engaging our young people in conversations about artificial intelligence, if schools aren't the ones teaching students about the safe, effective and ethical uses of this technology, then who is?
But as some schools dive into AI, there are profound questions about how it's affecting how we think. Jake Renzella is a senior lecturer in computer science at UNSW and helps students around Australia understand the ethics of AI.
So the real concern here is that are we outsourcing the learning when we ask students to do work with these tools? The way the brain actually works when we're using these tools is changing. The ability for a student to recall what went into an essay when they wrote the essay themselves is heavily reduced in some early studies when the students used ChatGPT-like tools to write certain essays, for example. We can bundle this all up in a term called over-reliance. Are students relying too much on these technologies? That's the real concern here.
It will only replace thinking or make people lazy if we let it. Now, we're not evangelists, Jason, because We are pro-human. We understand that we are a complex human-centred organisation. We're a school.
Around Australia, some states are trialling their own AI programs. In New South Wales, 50 public schools are using what's known as EduChat.
Okay, so we're going to do a critical polish, and this is something that
It was designed by the Education Department, and unlike other AI programs, its content has been restricted to the state syllabus.
So our aim is to make our writing stronger.
At Plumpton High in Western Sydney, these Year 11s are using EduChat to help draft an essay on Shakespeare's Othello. They're learning how to prompt the AI with their own questions. Young Ashton has already handwritten his thoughts and has now asked the AI how he can make his writing even better.
EduChat's telling me to analyse the portrayal of women in Shakespeare's Othello. For my first step, I could identify specific quotes or scenes that could illustrate the roles of women in the play.
And so you will then go back to the book and find those quotes.
Yeah.
But if students think they can get away with passing off AI as their own work, they'll be disappointed. EduChat has been designed to prompt deeper thinking. So if I ask it, can you write an essay on Othello for me? This is what it says.
I can't write an essay for you, but I can help you get started on your own.
So it looks like I will have to write that essay myself. Is EduChat replacing your thinking?
Students aren't getting their thinking replaced, but rather they're getting a tool that can assist them. So it's in no way like taking over our thinking, but rather pushing us to improve literacy skills.
I'm just scared that if AI does take over and we're not able to adapt, then we can lose our critical thinking, and that's where EduChat helps. It builds our critical thinking at the same time while asking questions.
Couldn't you go to your teacher for feedback?
I definitely could, but especially at home, sometimes I use EduChat to mark my work and it gives me feedback on how to improve, and I take that improved work to my teacher.
So she has to check it?
Yes.
And
just to make sure.
have you ever asked EduChat to write the answer for you?
No.
I've tried it once.
Did it give you the answer?
No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
There's been a giant leap in their writing skills, according to their teacher.
I've seen it through their vocabulary choices and the way they structure their essays. We used to be okay with 800 words in 40 minutes. Now they can generate 1,000 to 1,500 words in that 40 minutes.
Australia's schools are now allowed to use AI under federal guidelines to ensure it's used ethically and appropriately.
We call it safe AI because if you're using EduChat, the information, the data stays within the department's system. It's not going to provide you with any inappropriate information or expose you to things that are not appropriate for a student.
So they're learning about prompts and how to put these prompts into the AI. Is that what learning has become? Just putting prompts into an AI?
Oh, in that case, learning's become about Othello and using this new technology to do what we've always wanted kids to do, which is to understand the text, the language, and then the universal themes behind it.
But it's not perfect. The department conceding it does hallucinate, a technical term for speaking gibberish.
AI, by its nature, is prone to the occasional hallucination. We've had almost 1 billion words generated through the product, and so you can absolutely say that some of them will have not have been completely accurate, in the same way that any AI model is not completely accurate.
But you're expecting the humans to check for errors?
That's what we do. That's what we teach people to do.
Why have a system with errors in it?
Well, so artificial intelligence by its nature, that is one of the features of it. That's the side that people need to know about.
But if AI is smarter, faster and more productive, then what does that mean for the future of teachers? Does the department have any plans to replace teachers with AI?
Oh, there's absolutely no chance that we'll be replacing our teachers with any technology.
Remember, we're using EduChat as a process. We want to get smarter, definitely not lazier.
At Chatswood Primary, Assistant Principal Isabel McLaughlin is teaching her Year 5 students how to use EduChat. They're multilingual children, who might need a hand translating words. So Chloe, was there a particular word that you needed to work out recently?
Archetype, because it was kind of a tricky word. We tried using dictionaries, but then on last result we would use EduChat.
But Ms McLaughlin reminds her class not to forget their human connections.
We can ask AI to do all sorts of things, but it will never know if they've missed breakfast. It will never understand if, you know, they've had a terrible sleep or if they really struggle with this one part of the curriculum.
We've done our 2 fairy tales, we've compared them.
Do you think that AI will ever replace teachers?
I think that students and children, even adults, we still look to relationships for understanding. We still look to a teacher. So I don't think so.
Thank you again, my angels. You've been so good today. Thank you.